We bring you the news others waste 8 minutes 16 seconds to talk about in less than half of that, and got time to spare for even more news. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our regular news roundup. Thanks for watching, my name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. Clear evidence that sim racing is picking up pace is that we're having something to tell you every week. For months. Which we didn't expect when we started them, but I'm not protesting. I think it's fantastic that this pastime that we all love so much is going mainstream-ish. But you don't want me blathering for 8 minutes 16 seconds, do you? The news. If you have been undecided about whether to buy Assetto Corsa Competizione or not, even after our excellent video about it, see the link up there, you will soon be able to decide directly, as, according to our sources, Kunos will let you test it for free in the days between the 3rd of June and the 6th of June. From Thursday next week until Sunday next week. Luckily, it's quite easy to install and set up, and you can't go mightily wrong with the aggressive setup that you can choose in the setup menu of the sim. We're glad if this free weekend helps you decide. Remember where you heard it first. We called it! We definitely called it when we said it was Brno that we saw in the news update. Hey, wow, we have a link to it up there, the magic of YouTube. Look very suspiciously like that. Luckily, I have some VRP laying around because Brno is one of the 2 newest tracks Raceroom is sending our way, and boy do I plan to buy it. I've always liked the flow of this track with its altitude changes, and I've liked the difficulties it brings. Definitely one to get if you ask me, a track of middle difficulty and oh so much fun. We even did a test of an R Factor 2 mod back in the day. Boom, another link up there. The second track they are going to publish soon is Välerbanen. I hope I didn't destroy it in pronunciation, which I must confess I know nothing about and have never raced it. It's a track in Norway that in winter is used for ice drifting and testing, home to the Swedish Touring Car Championship once in 2008. And it seems also used to test whoever wants to get a driver's license. It hosts an amateur racing event once a year and has many different configurations. No release dates or prices have been disclosed yet. A couple of weeks ago, Reiza's Renato Simeoni answered a lot of questions people had around Automobilista 2 on Reiza's Facebook group. Here's a compressed form of what he said. Reiza were asked if we'd see more South American content in the sim that brought a clear affirmative answer with no further details for now. With regards to Endurance Brazil, he was asked if they would release the full roster at some point and answered they planned to increase the numbers of cars there, but made it clear they still have to solve some, quote, puzzles, end quote, with regards to licensing. This has understandably been a thorn on the side of many Automobilista 2 fans. Reiza publishing some cars of a series but not being able to publish them all because they did not have all licenses in place. We are undecided on this issue. On the one hand, it's great that they publish whatever they have, the moment they have it. On the other hand, it can be frustrating to have 20 series in the sim, with many only showing 1 or 2 vehicles out of an extensive roster. We are sure Reiza would also love to publish all cars in one go and appreciate how difficult it can be to discuss licensing. With some companies, it's worse than pulling teeth. What we're saying to those frustrated is that we're sure Reiza is as frustrated as you are, or even more. Still, on the content side of things, Reiza stated that they will bring much more historical content into the sim in the future, both cars and tracks. Luckily, they also answered a question about Stadium Super Tracks, which wasn't mine, so at least there is one other fan of this kind of racing out there. Hi! But they said they were trying to secure the licenses, which is strange as they had clearly stated all content in Automobilista 1 was licensed also for Automobilista 2. This may be the unlucky exception though. At least now I know why it's taking them so long. I hope to be able to drive them round Spa someday. Nah, not really. One thing that Automobilista 2 is lacking is the ability to do driver swaps, and while Renato is aware that many fans are requesting this feature, Reiza is not able to commit to it in any way other than saying that they'll look into it. I suppose they have to find a way to program a feature that was not in Project Cars 2 in some kind of way into the sim. Reiza have until now made good use of the Project Cars 2 engine, and they are creative, so let's hope they find it. With regards to setting multiplayer championships, Simeone acknowledged they will bring this feature into the sim, quote, in the not so distant future, end quote. Something that of course interests us very much regarding our regular broadcast is the statement, without any commitment to a date or time frame, that they want to make the experience for broadcasters better, including control of the cameras on track. In a similar vein, they are aware that Automobilista 2 is lacking features for race directors and plan to enhance those features, but it's nothing that will happen anytime soon. More's the pity. They also went deep into physics, talking about damper transition, squatting and drag, but I'll spare you the details as they are deep the physics rabbit hole. If there is a clamor in the comments about wanting to get more details, I can go there. And if you want to see by yourself, you may want to check the link in the description, but be aware you will need a Facebook account to be able to read the contents, and also be aware the thread with questions and answers can be difficult to read due to Facebook's technology. Back to their physics answers. Of course, they are still working on physics. They'll never stop and said as much. Car physics have, quote, room for improvement which we plan to continuously explore, end quote, and they will even work on crash physics, quote, at some point, end quote. This has always been a point of contention in sim racing for me, as most crashes and their consequences are what breaks immersion, as often enough cars just bounce around like rubber balls. If only crashes were like that in real life. Anyway, good to know they are planning on working on it. Moving on to the multiplayer rating system, they are obviously going to start with what is already there as legacy from Project Cars 2, which they expect to have finished by Q4 of this year. Further development and dates have yet to be decided. Those of you who are eager to race US American tracks, especially the ovals, will be happy to hear that they are working on including full course yellow and pace car within the sim. Again, as an answer to a question, they made it clear they are by no means at the end of development and will continue working on the sim for a while. And really, what they have done with the Project Cars 2 engine in this time is really impressive. Within their plans for Automobilista 2, the work is by no means complete, and we can expect further improvements to different parts of the sim, all while adding more content to it as we have reported in the past. If Project Cars 2 would have ever been even at the level Automobilista 2 is today, the story would have unfolded differently. Let your story in the next minutes unfold around the joy in sim racing by clicking the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.